Bonjour, ladies and gentlemen. Sega back. New video, new guide. You know the drill. Another 30 minutes yap session about some Steve nerdy shit. You know what I'm saying? Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everyone. This one's gonna be about flicker stance, and it's a stance that I use a lot in my matches. I think is very powerful and very underrated. A lot of my Steve folk I barely see use flicker. But when they do, it's only to do like one or two moves. I think this stance separates like the good Steves from the really great Steves and how they manipulate it. It's heavily nerfed coming from Tekken 7 sadly because stuff like flicker one down one doesn't counter hit launch anymore. But we'll get into that later. But it's still a fantastic stance you can use to dismantle your opponent and most importantly change your timing. Something that I'm a big fan of as a Steve player. It's very important in general to just change your timing. So yeah, really good stance. You can maximize the stance. There's a lot of mix-ups and delayed timings, and yeah, a couple tips and tricks at the end as well. So for my people to make it to the end of the video, I got some really disgusting stuff, like really disgusting stuff to show you that I don't really see any other Steves doing except a couple few other high level Steves that do it. But yeah, all right, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Cool. So just like my peekaboo video, it's not gonna be like a beginner guide. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I know a lot of beginners do watch me and people who are learning Steve, but um, I will go over most things in the stance, but it's not going to be geared to help you like actually use it like for the first time and like go through all the frames and like the beginner stuff because there's going to be some advanced shit in this video. But I'm going to quickly brush over the common ways you're going to enter this stance. I'm going to set into block, quickly brush over, quickly, because I don't want this to be a like beginner guide. It's more of a comprehensive. I call it a battle guide, basically how to use it in your matches. Because I don't want to just name off all the stuff in the stance. You can just go in the command list or move list, or whatever, and look for yourself and see what they do. Like I kind of want to teach you, cool, in your matches, use this, don't use this. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, how to enter peekaboo. What am I on about? How to enter flicker. Common ways. So you have 1-2-1, hold back, -1. One thing I want to notice, one thing I want to highlight, sorry, not notice, is your flicker jabs, just like your peekaboo. Your peekaboo jabs, your fastest options are 12 frames. So imagine you're permanently -2 whenever you're in this stance, unless you do a sneaky trick, but I'll show you at the end. But yeah, -2 all the time because your fastest option is 12 frames. But you got 1-2-1, hold back. Common way you're going to enter it, really good. Leaves you on -1, quite safe. 2-1 hold back is the most common way. This is what I use to enter the stance a lot of the times outside of manual input, which is back 3+4, +3 on block. So if your opponent tries to jab back, if you do flicker jab, because your flicker jabs are I12 and you're +3, this will beat their jab. So it's very fast and very good against mashers. So people who are just disrespecting you and just trying to press back into this, you can frame trap them with the flicker jab. Down 4-1-2-1, hold back, 0 on block. This is good to obviously, if you condition your opponent, you've been running a lot of down forward ones and he's been trying to take his turn back and you know he's going to mash in like that final round situation, you want to counter hit launch him, you rip this string, whoops, down forward 1-2-1, -2 on block. If you hold back, it's 0. So again, really good situation you can enforce. We have 1-1 down back and 1 down 1, no, 1 down 1, sorry, and 1-1 down 1. So they're very similar. 1 down 1, hold back, goes into flicker. 1-1 down 1, hold back, goes into flicker. Both are 0 on block. Same thing. If you hold back, it's 0. If you don't, -5, -6. So if you don't cancel flicker, he's still safe on -6. But if you do, it's 0. So yeah, just another way to kind of enforce a mind game. A lot of people don't really know that this is 0 on block as well. So in your matches, if your opponent takes his turn back with a high, or if your opponent takes a turn back with something slow, you can create the same situation as 2-1 into flicker 1, where I said they will frame trap. Some people like down forward 1 check you out of this, so you can just flicker jab them and then continue pressure. But yeah, 1 down 1 I use this quite a lot. If they take their turn back with a high, you can duck, or you can do stuff like snake charmer if you have a really hard read, or you can weave if it's something linear, etc. Power crush if it's like a slow move, whatever. But yeah, if you have a read. But yeah, another good situation just to kind of mix up your offense again. So you got 1-1 down 1. You also have back 1. I nearly forgot back 1. Obviously, cash money way to enter flicker. Frame data says -1, but be careful because this year back 1 is actually bugged. Hashtag buff Steve. One thing I want to highlight with back 1, don't be too too over reliant on this year, especially if you're going to use it to go into flicker. You have a million other ways to do it, and sadly for us Steve mains, back one is actually bugged in Tekken 8. Just something I want to highlight. So on the frame data, as you can see, I just demonstrated by accident, basically the illusion, but on the frame data, if you test it, if you back one, it should be -1 basically on block, and the game will display -1. Let me take this off. So standing block, if I back one him, it says -1, right? But that's actually not true. It's actually -12 this year. So in Tekken 7, you could get a lot of mileage by kind of standing at range or throwing out these defensive back ones, trying to catch buttons coming in, etc. But you can't do that as reliably in Tekken 8 because you can actually get hit in the flicker animation, which is not a thing. So usually with flicker, you can block during flicker stance, which I'll demonstrate later. But yeah, so with back one, I have full pull set to do his 12 frame punish. If I back one in one block and hold back, so for example, let me do flicker jumps for example. You see I blocked, I did flicker one and I'm holding back. He's blocking it, he can't do a 12 frame punish because I can block out of flicker. If I do back one, hold back, he's doing his 12 frame punish and he's hitting me, as you can see. This is a glitch, bro. Like, this is not meant to be a thing. It says -1 on the frame data, yet you can't block out of it. Anything up to 12 frames, bro, which is insane. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, I can die for doing this at the wall. If the pool player is really switched on and I keep spamming back one, he 12 frame wall slaps me and I lose the round, you know what I mean? But anything else into flicker, like if I do 2-1, hold back, I'm fine. 1-2-1, hold back. Whoops. 1-2-1, hold back, I'm fine. If I do down for 1-2-1, hold. Oh, well, I interrupted him. But anything going into flicker one, yeah, you get the point, right? 1 down 1, I counter hit him. 1 down 1 will work as well, but back one doesn't because this game's amazing. So yeah, just be very careful with spamming back one. I just had to include that. But yeah, it's another common way to go into flicker, obviously. The common back one flowchart. After that, we have QCF1. This is the way that I go into flicker a lot of the time. QCF1 is very powerful because we have this I-16 heat engager that's safe. It's only -3. As you can see, if you hold back, you can create a lot of disgusting situations with this, especially at the wall, because you're basically fishing for a wall splat, and then you can weave, as I just demonstrated. This is a cash money flowchart, cash money trap you can set. So at the wall, you can throw QCF1, weave, and then go for this into a wall splat, into a full combo. Very disgusting. I do this quite a lot. Just be careful because this loses to slow low or counter hit low. So against people like Jin, a lot of Jins and a lot of people, when they see you in flicker, they do a high crushing option because most of your flicker options are highs. You have flicker jabs, which are highs, flicker 1 down 1, which is high. The only 3 mid options you have are flicker 1-2, which is a combo extender. We're gonna take him off punish because he's beating me up. Your only mid extensions, you have a flicker 1-2, which is a combo extender. You don't use this in a neutral because it's -12. Flicker 2, which is obviously really good, and then flicker 1 down 1. Everything else in flickers are high. 1 down 1 high, 1-1-1 high. Everything else you're gonna do is a high. Back 2 is a high. Like, the stance is very susceptible to like sidestep left duck or just duck in general. So a lot of people see transition into flicker, and it's not a bad bet to duck because most of the options except for the 3 I listed are highs. So yeah, if your opponent is doing like a slow low all the time, then there's ways to get around it. You could do stuff like if you're in flicker, like insta while standing 1, which we'll touch on a bit later, or just block. You don't have to also always default to weave or default into buttons. Just block. Remember, like just chill. Down back to cancel the stance and just block. Try and block the low. But yeah, and then obviously last but not least, the best way to get into the stance, or the best way to manipulate the stance, in my opinion, the most common way I use is 2-1, but the best way is really just manually. So you press back 3-4. I have it binded to my R1 button on my controller. Yeah, best way to get in the stance. And then like once you get familiar with it, if you press down back, you cancel out, or you can kind of do this shimmy step. But yeah, the best way to enter the stance, because you can really like manipulate timing and like just use whatever move you want, you know what I'm saying? Once you get really quick at doing it, you can see you can kind of hide the animation, and it looks like Steve's just attacking without actually entering the stance. You can do stuff like this, whatever. We'll touch on these later on, but yeah, manual flicker, really good as well. Because when you do it behind the button, if you do 2-1, a lot of people know you're gonna look for like maybe the flicker 1 albatross 2 flowchart, and they might just hard dock you. When you enter it manually, you can kind of just like, it's a bit more scary and unpredictable, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, get used to this input as well. Manual flicker, and then you can kind of like dance around in the neutral. into a flicker jab usage. So you can kind of lock people down with your flicker jabs, and it's really good because they jail essentially. So like your opponent can't really do anything. They can't interrupt because you can kind of like lock them down into place and force them to kind of respect whatever's coming next. With the empty albatross spin I was doing, where you can do 1 to 2 flicker jabs into other buttons, like flicker 1 down 1 or flicker 1 forward 1, which I'll get into later. But yeah, the usage of these is you can kind of just spam them and lock people down. And as you can see by the frame data in the bottom left corner, depending on the distance to your opponent. So if I do it further away, as you can see, I only got plus 12 there. But if I do it really close and really fast, it's like plus 17. You can get a lot of frames, a lot of plus frames, as you can see. So it's dependent on the speed and the distance from your opponent. If I do it really slow, you can see that was only plus 8, plus 10. But these are kind of like pseudo frames. Don't buy too much into like the plus 17, like, because your opponent can just jab interrupt you if you keep spamming this in your games. But yeah, feel free to use flicker jabs every now and again to like if you're moving around neutral. Sometimes you won't know what to throw out of range. Just enter manual flicker, couple jabs, spin in his face, threaten a mix up, do like a down forward 1 after, maybe a QCF 1 if you're feeling ballsy. You can go for a stomp, duck cancel out. But yeah, not bad to kind of like keep your opponent locked down and make them respect something, you know what I'm saying? Some people might try armor, power crush, but that's fine. You're doing it to basically bait out a reaction. You want your opponent to kind of buy on something, stuff like this, into back 1 maybe. But yeah, it's really good. There's also a special property with flicker jabs that happens on counter hit. So a lot of people ask me like, "Oh, Sega, how do I get out of blue ranks? How do I get out of this and that?" When I was climbing up the ranks when I started playing Tekken around like March time, April time, I firstly got off destruction around end of July, early August. And one of the common flowcharts / moves I used was this that I'm about to show you right here. So I'll set Paul to do a jab. Now there's obviously clear counterplay to this. It's not scrubby, but like it's more of like it works against a one archetype of player, which is basically a mashup, which is a lot of your online players. But if you counter hit the flicker jab in this game, it guarantees you Albatross 2. And this is really powerful because Albatross 2 is a heat engager. So let me show you. If I do 2-1, this is the flowchart. 2-1, flicker 1, Albatross 2. You're gonna see. That's guaranteed. If you see Paul's alpha, it's red. The Albatross 2 is completely guaranteed if the flicker jab hits on counter hit. So for you guys that are facing people who don't know the matchup or people that try to take their turn back all the time, this can work off of anything though. So you can do something like 1-1 down 1, which is 0 on block, for example. But he's jabbing me here. And remember, flicker jabs are I12 and a normal jab is 10 frames. So because I'm 0, his jab will beat me out. So all I'm trying to teach you with this is if your flicker jab counter hits in game, or your opponent's taking his turn back with something slow, let this flowchart rip, man. Let the flicker jab rip, spin into it. If you see the counter hit symbol, cash money. And then where this is really juicy as well is this is a launcher in heat because obviously Albatross 2 heat dash. As you can see, if we had more space, but yeah, we launch him in heat. Infinitely powerful flowchart. So yeah, be careful overusing this though, because against good opponents, you're gonna land this like once or twice. But remember, flicker jabs are eyes, so your opponent can just crouch. So if I keep spamming 2-1 into flicker 1 Albatross, if I keep spamming 2-1 into flicker Albatross, a good opponent will duck, as you can see, and then they'll launch me. Some people will get hit with the Albatross as well if they stay crouched for long enough. But yeah, a good opponent is going to do exactly what the dummy's doing. They're going to duck, and then yeah, you lose your time. But yeah, cash money flowchart to use in your matches, man, if you don't know what to do sometimes. And then on top of that, you can even layer it with up back 3. So up back 3 after Albatross is very powerful because as you can see, Albatross 2 is only -3, which is a flipping joke. It's so safe. I don't know why it's -3. And it has a bit of pushback as well, as you can see. So what you can do is this. They block it over here. Look how much distance you create. And then a lot of your opponents are going to retaliate with something and you get a free launch. So yeah, really sneaky tricks you can kind of set up with flicker. That's why I'm saying it was very powerful at the start of the video. Like this stance is heavily overlooked. Like there's a lot of sneaky stuff you can do. You can do this into this, into back 1, this into 1-2-1. And the reason why this works is because it's only -3. So back 1 is 13 frames, you're -3. Your opponent has to do something 16 frames or slower to take their turn back, which is very likely. This is because a lot of the time, because of the pushback of this, if you've been doing up back three, a lot of your opponents will try and like predict you, and they run into you and try and do like a slow button. During that time, if they run into you, you can just like sneak a back one in and get a free counter hit, or sneak a 1-2-1 to basically check them. Your 1-2-1's your 12 frames, so that will be 14 frames, and anything slower than that, because it's -3 and it's I10. So, but yeah, 14 frames. But a lot of them will like sprint into you and try and do like a fast button, especially if you've been showing them that you're gonna do up back three every time. So yeah, you can just set traps, man. Like it's a really dirty flowchart you can do. Like I feel like I've been yapping about this one for time, but like trust me, this was like a lot of the reason why I climbed up the ranks in early Tekken 8 really fast, considering I'm a new Tekken player. So yeah, use it and abuse it, man. Only people that know the matchup will really counter it. But yeah, super powerful, I say flowchart or trick you can use. Some more advanced stuff and stuff I rarely see people do while using Flicker, unless again you're very experienced with Steve. But the usage of Flicker 1 down 1 and Flicker 1 forward 1 basically, plus delay timing, and how you can start to really like kind of dismantle your opponent using Flicker stance. I've already touched on this in my how to abuse Steve's mids videos, because I think I named these two moves as like one of the mids you want to be abusing. One of the two mids you want to be abusing. But yeah, so basically Flicker 1 down 1, or 1-1 down 1, and Flicker 1 forward 1, and 1-1 forward 1. So why these two are really good is because, like I said, most of your options in Flicker are highs, and people will hard duck you a lot of the time. So Flicker 1 forward 1 is -5 on block and 0 on hit. So if this hits, 0 on hit, forces crouch. So the reason why this is so great is because at the higher level, you're not going to get away with just doing this all the time, and you're not going to get away with doing 2-1 Flicker 1 Albatross 2. These are things that kind of like get you to high level, and you start to understand like Tekken and the layers that come to Tekken and what moves to use against different opponents. If your opponent is permanently disrespecting you, then by all means run this and keep mashing your Flicker jabs away and fishing for this counter hit situation or whatever. Keep doing stuff like this, because you're basically fishing for a counter hit, right? But at the higher level, when people start to present sidestep ducking, or just they're showing you that they know the matchup and they're not mashing into everything, these two options are really good to throw out, because you can play with the timing like immensely. So you can do something like 1 down 1 really fast, as you can see. So you got insta timing like this, or you can got delay timing, and then you can play with 2 jabs into slow timing, 2 jabs into fast timing. Same with the mid string, so 2 jabs, slow. Let's see how slow we can get it. So that's like max delay timing, and then 2 jabs into 1 forward 1. I don't know why I was struggling so hard to find a notation, but 2 jabs into the forward input. This is his forward 1, then 2 jabs into the down input. Also, these strings are special on counter hits. So in Tekken 7, 1 down 1 was a counter hit launcher, but they got rid of it for whatever reason. I don't know why they keep nerfing our boy. So at the wall, this is powerful because this is a wall split at the wall. So full launcher at the wall. You can do your little fancy combo. I'm not combo maestro, but yeah, at the wall this is great. So you get a lot of value for delay timing at the wall, because you can just kill your opponent. I love getting this situation. Also, some people are trying hard duck and launch this. It's really hard to duck launch this, because what they do is like they extend their hitbox and then the second hit will clip them. So yeah, if you have someone that's trying to like duck launch you really fast, this isn't bad as well. And then 1 down 1 gives a hard knockdown on counter hit, so really good. Whoops. Hard knockdown on counter hit, little guaranteed follow up. So yeah, they're just fantastic for annoying your opponent and basically like giving them another thing to think about, because at the high level, like I said, people will duck you a lot of the time. And yeah, a lot of your options are high, so it's not actually bad to duck Flicker stance here, but like you can play with the timing. If you've been playing really fast and doing a lot of fast like Flicker buttons, a lot of this into this, sometimes just change it up and try this or this, especially if they're mashing into you. My god, if they're mashing into you, this is like dirty. Flicker 1 down 1 is so nice if they're mashing into you. Why Flicker 1 down 1 is also really good is because it's 0 on block, and you can start setting mini traps. So you can start doing stuff like Flicker 1 down 1 into 1-2-1. I like doing Flicker 1 down 1 into Pap 2 like this. So 2 hits into block will get him to jab me. So if we do 1 down 1 counter hit launcher, you see, hold on. Let me take this off so it's authentic. Whoops. Has he got the right punishment on? Oh, am I? Oh, I'm such an idiot. I'm such an idiot. Let's try this again. There we go. Jesus Christ, I was thinking, what's going on? Yeah, one down one, pap two is good. One down one, pap up for two if they take their turn back with a high or a jab, whatever, something you can crush. One down one into weave. Remember, you're zero, so you can get really creative. So one down one, up back three. We can't launch punish jabs, but you get the point. One down one, up back three, unblockable. 2-1, one down one, weave or something. Because it's zero, you can get super creative. A lot of opponents will try and take their turn back with something, and you can do like peekaboo 2, which is a really classic one, or pap up 4-2, or pap down 2, also high crushes, or whatever, man. Dark, or just chill and see what they do. Sidestep, as you can see, the sidestep back 2 would have worked there. Yeah, whenever you have a frame situation at zero, think of it like resetting the neutral. No one has the advantage, right? Alright, next button we have is one of my favorites in Steve's whole kit. Was one of his staple counter hit buttons from Tekken 7, but I feel like it's became even more important this year considering he's been gutted in terms of counter hits and utility from Tekken 7. Flicker 2. Ooh, sorry about that. Excuse me, as they say. Yeah, Flicker 2. Very good button. Counter hit launcher, safe at -5, I-18. One of his more important buttons, I'd say, at the higher level, 100%. When you have people's timing. Everyone's scared of the famous back one, obviously 13 frame gunshot to the head, of course, but this is a really underrated counter hit launcher, and I don't see a lot of Steves really employing this in a neutral. A lot of Steves are just too fixated on up back 3, 2-1 flick albatross 2, a lot of gimmicky stuff like up 4-2 to launch, but this is really, really, really good and gets better. This gets better the better you get at the game, because when you start to understand timing and stuff, this button is actually quite broken. Does chip damage, as you can see, so it's fantastic for annoying your opponent because you can build up all of this chip, and then if you land a hit, it takes away their health. So yeah, I-18 -5, hard knockdown on normal hit. So if this lands, hard knockdown. Oh, amazing! Can't even demonstrate. Hard knockdown, as you can see. Guaranteed down 1+2 or QCF2. If you're quick enough, there you go. But just do down 1+2. On counter hit launcher, obviously, if you know, counter hit launcher, massive damage, as you can see. You can get your full combo to the wall Gatling. Massive damage, like half health, bro. Damn near 50% off of one counter hit. So yeah, it's really good. The only downside to this button, genuinely, is it's weak to sidestep right. As you can see, completely linear, sidestep right. Track sidestep left, however. But yeah, so if someone's sidestepping left a lot, you can throw this out on like a delayed timing, and it's really good. You can kind of sneak it in behind buttons as well. Stuff like single jab into flicker 2 is really good. Whoops. Single jab into flicker 2 is really good. Down forward 1, flicker 2, see what they do. Like if they're taking their turn back with something slow, or you've been playing really fast for the whole round, and you can kind of like mix it in behind movement. MC spin, whoops, empty flicker spin to kind of like realign and scare them, then flicker 2, stuff like this. 1-1 sidestep, flicker 2, like dashing in their face a little bit into flicker 2 just to get them scared, you know? These are all really good things you can do, but yeah, fantastic button at the high level. If you watch some of the good Steves like HDG Noel, Newman Chowdhury, they all use this button like a lot in the neutral just because there's no risk. It's only -5, bro. Like you lose your turn. And even then, you can still kind of set traps and do stuff like flicker 2 into up back 3, which I like to do. It's like, you're not going to die for doing this. And then if it hits, you get either hard knockdown or counter hit launcher. Like, why would you not use this more? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, really, really great button, man. Fantastic button. I can't stress enough how important it is to mix this in. You can also do it by entering peekaboo off of like a normal string. So you can do it by like entering peekaboo off of like a 2-1 into flicker 2 to catch like a slow low. If your opponent's playing Kazuya and they keep doing like down 1+2 every time you enter flicker, this will catch them. Jin down 2, this will catch them because you're +3 and it's I-18. So there's no counter hitting launching low that's quicker than like what, 20 frames, 19 frames. I think Jin down 2 is at I-20 or something around that, like 21. But yeah, they're all around at the 20 frame mark. So this is I-18, and if you're +3, then it's always going to beat the lows. You know what I'm saying? The slow lows are that people use to crush you. So it's just a really good button, man. Highly recommend it. I cannot stress this enough. Like, we don't have many counter hits left in our kit anymore, Steve players. We really only have like back 1, flicker 2, peekaboo 1-2-1, I can't even think of them because there's so few and far beyond. Got pad 1-2-1, flicker 2, back 1, down 2-1-2. Nearly forgot down 2-1-2. Counter hit launcher. What else? Like we don't have flicker 1 down 1. We don't have down 4-2. Like bro, we don't really have that many counter hits anymore in our kits. I'm sure there's some I'm missing. Down 4-1-2-1 obviously still counter hit launches, but this is good. This is low risk and it's a mid. Can hit from tip range as well. So you can kind of throw it out from like tip range. Let me see. Range 2.3. Yeah, like 2.3-ish. So yeah, use it and abuse it. Just to touch on Flicker Back 2, which is Power Crush. Underutilized again, like a Flicker 2. More of like an OG Steve thing. A lot of people that come into Tekken 8 fixate on down back 1+2 because the Power Crush leads to a heat engager and at the wall can even launch. If you can do like pad 4+2, sorry. So if you do Power Crush into this at the wall, if you time it right, it can launch, but I digress. Let's not go off topic. Flicker Back 2, really good button. Tekken 7 featured a lot of back 1 whiff into Flicker Back 2 because they would whiff this at range and basically catch you coming in a Flicker Back 2. Still works this year, but be very careful abusing this because someone that knows the matchup will duck launch you, especially at range. Because if I stand this far away, the only thing I can really threaten out of Flicker stance is something like Flicker Back 2 because it travels. Everything else is quite short range, like your normal options won't really hit, as you can see. So against people that don't know the matchup, don't just whiff back 1 into Flicker Back 2 because they might be fishing, waiting for you to do something dumb and they duck launch you. But really good button, -9. Really good if you know how to do like manual flicker transitions. So if you do back 3+4, down back, and then back, you can kind of cancel and you'll get this like shimmy step. For those of you that watch Shinblade play, he does a lot of this. Shout out Shinblade, he's helped me a lot in my Steve journey. And he does a lot of this basically to fish for the whiff punish basically. Because this move is really great with punishing. So you can mix it into your KBD, so you can be moving around. You can just like be darting back and forth, and then you kind of like throw it out, mix it in, bang, and then if you see something whiff, you visually confirm. You get a free forward 2 if this lands. It's a free FF2 as you can see. Bang, 3 forward 2, really good damage. Let me see how much damage it actually does actually. It does 40 damage. So yeah, that's actually, if you land this, it's quite a lot of damage. Good whiff punisher, but just be careful because it's a high. So don't overuse stuff like back 1 into flicker 2, or if you land QCF 1, don't do stuff like QCF 1 into flicker 2 all the time because people are looking to high crush flicker stance, as I said. Only use it if you have a read or if you're trying to be really different and like unpredictable. Throw it out very sporadically. If you're going to use a power crush, just do this anyways. This one's better because you don't have to enter it from stance 8 and it's a mid. So they have to deal with this basically. They have to block this or whatever, like punish you for it, right? They block punish, but yeah, this just use it when you're as mainly as a whiff punisher basically. Or if you're trying to be cheeky behind a little back 1, bang, you throw a flicker 2. But yeah, very underutilized button. Super good mileage. I completely forgot to include. I was about to move on, but I need to tell you guys is that Flicker Back 2 also wall splats. So again, if you land this near the wall, you can get like a big full combo, which is really nice as well. It's a nice little touch. I don't know what happened to the rest of my Gatling there. Hyper basic combo, really good. But yeah, also wall splat. So again, if you have their back to a breakable wall and they're trying to mash to get off the wall, throw a Flicker Back 2 out, and then yeah, you can get like some massive damage basically. I think you can tail spin of like 2-2 or something. Yep, and then 4-2-2. This into OP, and then QCF2, and then yeah, you get the drop. But yeah, also wall splat. So not too bad to throw out if your opponent's back towards the wall. And obviously, for those that don't know, it's also a tailspin in combos. So if you launch them, you can tailspin and Flicker Back 2 like this. Get the wall and then you decimate. But yeah, few important notes there included. So for those of you that have for those of you that have reached this far into the video, drop a comment in the comment section. I want you to write boxing gloves and then write whatever you want if you enjoyed the video or whatever. But yeah, I want to see something because basically the 2 bits of information I'm about to show you, these 2 little gems I'm dropping as a little Merry Christmas, are quite niche, and I don't see a lot of Steves do, other than the high level ones, obviously. So I am basically revealing some secrets right now. For those of you that watch me play, anyone in my comments who watches my streams, you'll see me abuse 2 of these things. Obviously a few more than the others, but both of these things I'm about to show you, I do damn near any time I have the chance. So the first one I want to touch on is insta while standing 1 usage. So what that means is this move. not down jab, obviously, while standing one. So this. With flicker and the flicker transition, you can basically do like an insta duck, as you can see. Because a normal duck, he has that buffer sequence. I can't do. It's very slow for me to do a while standing move from normal crouch. But you see how quick that is. If I do the manual flicker transition into insta duck, I can get this right. Now, a lot of you will use 2-1 or 1-2-1 or any sort of button to enter flicker. At the high level, people will start to duck you because you'll do 2-1, you're going to try and do your flicker jabs, and your opponent will just crouch, right? So if I do 2-1 and I go wah, 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 he crouches, he duck launches me, oh my god, I can't do anything. Or even worse is when they down jab you. I think this is set to down jab already. Yeah, down jab. So down jab just cucks you. Like, one thing you're going to notice as Steve is down jab is so irritating to deal with. And again, this is going to happen the higher up you go. People just don't want to deal with your bullshit. And down jab is actually a good option select for Steve. So what can we do to counter this? Well, 2-1, 1-2-1, whatever. Point being is any sequence of push into flicker, ideally, the reason why I say 2-1 all the time is because you're plus, and a lot of you will be doing this because it's very good to use in ranked. 2-1, down back while standing 1. Fantastic to check for duckers. If you do it quick enough, you can beat down jab, which I'll demonstrate. But this move is insane. Insane sequence because it gives you access to a fast mid outside of the flicker sequence. Because your other mid options are either attached to highs or they're really slow. Your mid options from flicker are flicker 1-2, which is high mid. So again, someone can duck you. And it's unsafe as well. It's -12, so you don't want to do this in a neutral. Flicker 2 is I-18. It's very slow, so you can get beaten up by a fast button when you're up close. So if you're doing this into this, or if you're doing a lot of flicker 2 in their face, they could just like anything quicker than 18 frames basically, and it's GG for you. And then on top of that, you have flicker 1 down 1. Again, you have to do one flicker jab to have access to this. So someone could just duck you, and then you're in danger again. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. Those are all your mids you have from flicker. But 2-1 into insta while standing 1 gives you access to I-11 mid if you cancel fast enough, so really fast mid. It might be a frame slower because you have to actually do the cancel, so maybe it comes out around I-12, I-13. I haven't done the maths, but it's around I-12, right? Really quick mid. Basically, it's to stop anyone ducking. A lot of people will hard duck you, and if you see it connects like this, so if you're doing your 2-1 sequence or your 1-2-1, and this is happening, and you're hitting them with the mid, this is fantastic because you can basically condition them indefinitely. And if they keep getting hit by this, bro, that means you ain't got to change shit, bro. You're +3. God forbid they try and mash after that. Yeah, you rip the back one because you're +3. That's going to connect. But yeah, this is really good. And then if this is landing a lot, you can start to play delayed while standing timing. So what I mean by that is while standing 1-1 and while standing 1-2, you can delay. So if your opponent is getting used to this, you can start doing stuff like delayed timing while standing 1-1 like this into ducking. Or you can just do while standing 1-1, or if they're taking their turn back aggressively, do while standing 1-2, and you can change the timing. A lot of times the second hit will connect, and if the second hit of this connects, it gives a hard knockdown, similar to Flicker 2. Like this. So, no, not that. Oh my god. Can't even demonstrate, but you get a guaranteed follow-up, basically, right? So again, you can play with delayed timing, and this becomes really annoying to deal with. So you could be showing them this, then suddenly it's this, or suddenly it's this to ducks. If this lands as well, you're plus enough. I think you're +3, +4, yep. So they cannot interrupt. They can interrupt, sorry, with a jab, but you can go under it with this. So you're good. We can demonstrate. Punish. Where's punish? I'm blind. I don't know what this one is. We'll send to Jabu and Jabu. Oos. Jab me, mate. Alright. Nice. So, oos. GG, easy. He does. Oos. GG, easy. He does. Oos. You get a point. Oos. But yeah, in short, 2-1 while standing 1. Best friend to check after your 2-1 sequence, after your 1-2-1 sequence. It's hard to do after 1-2-1 because you're -1. So this actually won't work if they jump. But again, this is just a check if they're ducking. So after your 1-2-1 sequence, chuck it in. 2-1 sequence, chuck it in. 1 down 1 sequence, chuck it in. 1-1 down 1, chuck it in. Back 1, chuck it in. Manual flicker, chuck it in. You know what I'm saying? Just another quick mid. And I'll give you even more. I'll give you how can I say, more sauce here because I'm feeling uber generous. Yeah. Top of this is that it beats down jabs as well. So if you meet people that down jab all of your flicker pressure, punish, do standing block, punish. I'm pretty sure this one's down jab from before. Cool. If you can do this quick enough, you can beat down jab, okay? No. We traded there. GG. So you see I got the counter hit symbol there, okay? It said counter. Let me show that again. Nope. Trade. Boom. Okay, so I did while standing 1-2 there. Another important distinction I would like to demonstrate is that if the first hit, so if while standing 1 lands on counter hit, if this lands on counter hit and you confirm, the second hit is guaranteed. So if you see this here, +8 by the way, so if you land this counter hit in game, you can like back 1 after or something, or like it's a frame trap, whatever. But if you land this in game and you see the line, you can hit confirm into while standing 1-2 guaranteed. This is guaranteed, okay? So this is why true 1 into insta while standing 1 is so powerful, because there's like so many layers to it. On the first layer of this, I don't want you lot to get overwhelmed. There's a lot of information in this video, and again, if you made it far, there's a lot of stuff to dissect, I understand. But the first layer for this is just to do this, and if it lands, it means they're ducking. Cool. All you do now is you basically know that in your head, and you keep running this until they adapt. Basically, you don't have to do this. Like obviously this is nice to land because it's a lot of damage, but you don't have to. He's ducking. You have information. If you see the counter hit symbol and you're quick enough, run the wild man, bro. So much damage. Bang bang. Run the wild man. Play with delayed timing. If you think he's going to take his turn back after while standing 1, delay it a little bit, let the 2 rip like this. So while standing 1-2 like that, while standing 1-1, then you can try and duck after on hit. On hit, duck in forward 2 is guaranteed, as I demonstrated before. Yeah, it's just a really, really, really good check to have in your arsenal, and it just makes your offense is safe because like it's only -3 on block, and there's not really much risk unless you're meeting just some cracked individual. Every time he sees you in flicker, he's just sidestep left ducking like some nerd. But yeah, none of you in the nicest way are playing at the super highest level, me included. Like I might be God of Destruction, sure, but it's still not the pinnacle of Tekken 8. So no one's gonna be aggressively sidestep left ducking this stance, and when they are, you know what to do anyways, right? So that's the point of all of this. Gem I would like to give is basically a back turn death sequence that I do all the time. Again, those of you that watch my streams, you'll see me do this all the time. If you can get this off in game, you will win the round. Full stop. I'm gonna input a clip. I'm gonna input a clip showing you this in action. I was playing rank the other day in GOD, so at the highest online level possible, and I basically beat this player because I sidewalked her. This player is 10 times better than me as well. I faced her again and she kicked my ass here, but I digress. If you can take someone's back and you do this, it's round ending, and I'll show you. So we're gonna set the sequence to remember. So I'm at his back, and what you do is, again, a lot of you know what's coming. A lot of steves I do when they take someone's back, they do something like 2-1, and let me take count hit off because it's pointless. Not set. So I've seen 2-1 into down forward 1-1 2-1. This is alright. This is nice. This is nice. A lot of people from Tekken 7 do 2-1, hold forward into peekaboo, up forward 2. So it looks like this in real time. I've seen this. This is alright. This is alright. Gives a back turn combo, and then I see them usually do this, something like this, or whatever. It's alright. That's alright. That's alright. It's alright. You see my thing. You see my sauce here. Boom. Let me put you man on in it. So what I want everyone who watches this video to do from this point onwards, yeah, is if you take someone's back, you win the round. What you do, 2-1, hold back. 2-1, hold back. Shinblade done made a video on this and this, and no one still does this. Like, you man are late to the party, fam. I don't know why you man are abusing this. It's a fucking free round if you do it. 2-1, hold back in it, boom. You're then gonna duck cancel very fast to the point where you don't see it in it. 2-1, hold back, duck cancel. So down back here. Boom, cancel flicker, duck cancel, whatever, hold back. After the down back here, So down back, you're gonna press while standing 2-2-2 very fast. Okay, this is what it looks like in real time. So 2-1, hold back, down back while standing 2-2-2. Boom. In real time, you will get this. Made up combo on the spot, not optimal. Did you see how much health he had left? I'm gonna demonstrate again of a random combo, okay? Whatever. If you can Sonic Fang Heat Dash, this does like 70% minimum, bro. Minimum. I'm gonna try and get more optimal. Hold on. Not optimal again, but that was like 75%-ish. Like he was nearly in rage, and all I did was take his back. And do this. Like this is stupid, bro. It's so overpowered. I cannot stress how overpowered this is. Like, bro, like I hope you can hear the conviction in my voice. Like, bro, none of you do this, bro. I tune into all of your streams. I watch enough Steves. And no one is doing this except for like a few of the other top streams. This is dumb, bro. It's ridiculous. I'm gonna insert the clip sometime along here as I'm talking, yeah. But this is genuinely round ending. If you get this situation off and you don't win the round, I don't know how to tell you, bro. Stop watching my videos at that point. I swear to God. You take off like 80%, sometimes 90% if you get the wall. Sometimes the opponent will even flip towards you. So what I mean by that is when you do the while standing 2-2-2, as you can see, Pool's legs are facing the opposite direction. If your opponent tries to turn around, their legs will be facing towards you as if you did this. And then you can like safely get the wall, you know what I'm saying? Then it's like a really easy to get the wall because you just do your standard combo, right? Whatever. But yeah, please practice this. Go in practice mode, get the timing down for this. This is what it looks like. Yeah, there we go. Legs are facing towards me. Non-optimal combo. Like, nearly killed him. Let me see if I can do it again. One combo that was like what 80%, near to 90%. He was at his last 10% of health, I'd say. But yeah, it's a pseudo death combo. If you want to be a super nerd, Caesar does this all the time. What you can do is you can loop 2-1 a few times. So you can do 2-1 into peekaboo. You hold forward, and then what you do is you do a manual peekaboo cancel. So you press forward 3+4 to cancel peekaboo, and then you do 2-1 again into while standing 2-2. I don't want to delve too much into this. This could be its own separate video. This is really nerdy, but in short, it would look like that. You would loop it twice. If the health bar stays red, that means you got perfect timing. Like this. I messed it up. You see, into while standing 2-2 for even more damage, right? But that's the super nerdy shit. This is really hard to replicate in game. I'd recommend just doing 1 into while standing 2-2. Juicy. You land this, it's pretty flipping impossible to lose a round after this, I'll be real. Whatever, you do your combo and yeah, you get complaints about why Steve's OP. So yeah, please abuse this. And then on the last note, I'll throw in a little extra piece of tech. Insta full crouch down forward 2. So this move got buffed in the last patch, like the last major patch when they addressed everyone and they gave nerfs and Steve got the ability to cancel Lionheart. This got buffed. So I think it used to be like I-18 or I-19, but this move, so use it to punish lows basically, right? Any launch punishable low, you would do full crouch down forward 2. You can get like an insta full crouch basically by what you do is by going into manual flicker, you press back 3-4, and then you press down back, and then you slide your fingers if you play on controller to down forward, and you let this rip basically. This is really good for whiff punishing, like unironically. So you can basically like catch a lot of people kind of slipping in the neutral. A lot of down forward 2s in this game were like I-15. Like, yeah, a lot of down forward 2s are I-15 basically. And this is only like 1 frame slower. Well, if you factor in the cancel, it's probably like I-17-ish, but I digress. It's around that ballpark, right? It's only a couple frames slower. So if you're bouncing around the neutral again, think back to the flicker 2-bit, same kind of idea. if your opponent with something, you can just kind of chuck this out, man, and get like a nice free launch. Amazing combo, Seagull. There we go. So yeah, like as a nice little whiff punisher, it's got good range, and people won't really be expecting it. A lot of people will be like dash blocking and like they fail to block, so something like that, right? And you can see it kind of hides the duck animation. You don't really see Steve get low, because if he did this, this is kind of like predictable. You see, without the duck cancel, it looks like this. Still kind of fast here, but you can get it instant like this. Like that was like ridiculous. And again, back 3+4, down back, down forward, and let it rip. But so yeah, that's basically everything. Everything I've just explained in this video is how I use Flicker in game. Again, I didn't want to go over all the options. Like he has a grab from Flicker, he has this, there's this, which is using combos or Flicker 1-2 to cell spin. But yeah, it's not a beginner guide, bro. This is a comprehensive guide on how to beat your opponents using the stance in game. So if you made it this far, thank you for watching. Thank you for rocking with me. I really appreciate it. As again, this is another 20-30 minute yap session. I don't edit these videos. I like to talk and explain basically one take from my head, because I feel like the information's more real. I don't want to write a script and then like detail this and that. It's like I'm talking to you guys. Like if I ever coach any of you, this is how I explain the tactics and how to beat people. I literally just speak as the information is like fresh in my head, because the stuff I do in game, you know what I'm saying? If you tune into my streams or you watch my videos and me fighting people, everything I've just shown you on screen, I do. So yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you so much for 500 followers on the Twitch as well. I never thought I'd hit 500 followers. It's kind of ridiculous to even say that number. So thank you. I think we're closing in on 300 on the YouTube. So massive, massive thank you to everyone that supported up to this stage. I literally record off my PS5 and then I put it in Share Factory and then I post it. So thank you for rocking with me. I hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know in the comments on what else you'd like to see. If you want to see some sets or some more educational, and I'll try and deliver. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone.